Welcome to this session where we're going to do polynomial functions, and the topic we are going to concentrate on is factorization by synthetic method. So let's see how we can factorize a certain function using synthetic. So you can use remainder factorization by long division method, where you get to find the remainder and also the dividend, or the quotient rather. Then you can also use synthetic method when you want to factorize a certain function. So let's have a certain example. So we are talking about synthetic method. Okay, let's have an example whereby you have, let's say, f of x is equal to 2x squared plus 15. Okay, so this is a polynomial, so it should be 2x cubed, then plus 15 x squared, then plus xx minus 7. So there is no formula to find the factor, but you can use try and error method. So to try that and to avoid unnecessary wasted of time, you can just consider the constant there. The constant is 7, so just look for the factors of 7, both positives and negatives. If you're able to get that, then use try and error method and you'll be able to get the factor. So if you use try and error method, you discover that the value which you can replace on x to get the answer 0, it is actually x is equal to -1. So x is equal to -1 will give you the value, the remainder rather, which is equal to 0. So since we are saying x minus 1 is a factor, by trial and error method, so you get to equate this x minus 1 to be equal to 0. Then you find, so this is a factor, just equate to 0, so that you can use now the synthetic method in order to come up with the factors, like the complete factors now, since we are trying to factorize this polynomial functions. So what we can do, we can just do this. So you say x minus 2, x minus 1 rather, x minus 1 is equal to 0. So you discover that x is equal to, okay, so you said x is equal to -1 is the one which is making this to be equal to 0. So you say x plus 1 is a factor, so that will give us -1. So if you substitute -1 in this function, you'll get the answer 0. So now let's use synthetic method. So to use synthetic method, you just need to get the coefficient of the polynomial function. So what you need to do, you draw something like this, then you take the coefficients, only the coefficients. So we have 2 as the coefficient there, you have 15 as the coefficient, you have 6, and you have -7 as the coefficient. Then let me get rid of this. After you do this, we said x is equal to -1 is what can make the function to be equal to 0, right? So you put -1 there. Then you do a line like that. So we already have x minus 1 as our factor. Let me just write it somewhere. X minus 1 is one of the factors. So the first thing you're going to do, just drop this 2 here. Then you'll be multiplying negative 2 by this. The answer you get, add that. So here we are saying add, here multiply. So this is what you need to do. So you say negative 1 multiplied by 2, that is negative 2. Then what is 15 minus 2? 15 plus negative 2, that is just 15 minus 2, which is equal to 13. Then here again you multiply negative 1 multiplied by 13, you'll get the answer negative 13. Then what is 6 minus 13? So 6 minus 13, you get the answer to be negative 7. I'm going direct to 6 minus 13 because I know that 6 plus negative 13 is same as 6 minus 13. So negative 1 multiplied by 7, you get the answer positive 7. Negative 7 plus 7, you get the answer to be 0. If you get the remainder there to be 0, it means that the factor which you got is actually right. But if you get something else other than 0, it means that you need to check your factor you got during trial and error method. So after you get this, what you need to do now, the polynomial will decrease by the power of 1. So you have a quadratic 2x squared plus 13x minus 7. Then, and that factor which you got, which is x minus 1. So if you multiply this, it will take you back to the polynomial. So let's now factorize the quadratic. For factorization of quadratic, so you just need to check if the quadratic you've gotten, the quadratic function is factorizable. If it is not factorizable, then this is where you end. But if it is factorizable, you need to check. So let's take 2x squared plus 13x minus 7. Let's find the product, the sum, and the factors. So the product you find by multiplying a multiplied by c. So what is 2 multiplied by negative 7? That is equal to negative 14. Then the sum, you get the coefficient of x, that is 13. Sum is equal to 13. Then you check what are the factors, which two numbers when you multiply them they'll give you negative 13. When you add them they'll give you, when you multiply them they'll give you negative 14. Then when you add them they'll give you 13, positive 13. And those are 1 and negative 14. 1 and negative 14. So that's what you need to get and substitute on b. So you say 2x squared okay, so what you get is okay, so 2x squared then plus x minus 14x minus 7, like that. Remember we have even another factor which we got to be x minus 1. Then you factorize this. If you factor out x there will remain, so you factorize in pairs, so remain with 2x there, then plus 1. If you factor out negative 7, remain with 2x, then minus, that is plus 1, because negative 7 multiplied by positive 1, we will get negative 7. Then you also have x minus 1. Then you can just group this to say 2x plus 1. Then you even pair this also, so that is x minus 7. So for the common one you just get 1 from one of the brackets, then x minus 7, then x minus 1. So this is how you get to factorize. So these are the factors for the polynomial we had. So this is how to go about factorization by synthetic. Let's do another one. Let's say you have maybe h of x is equal to negative 2x cubed, then minus 13x squared, then plus 26x plus 16. The first thing, you need to use trial and error method to get the factor. So which number can you substitute on x so that you get the remainder to be 0? So the number which you can substitute, you can try. So it is x is equal to 2. If you try x is equal to 2, you'll get the value to be 0 as the remainder. So if you get x is equal to 2 to be the value which can make this function to be 0, now to get the factor, you say you just get this x to the other side, so it will be x minus 2 is equal to 0, right? So x minus 2 is the factor which is making this polynomial to be equal to 0. So you get x minus 2 as one factor, of which we know that x is equal to positive 2. Then you can use synthetic method. You said just get the coefficients, so you get negative 2, negative 13, 26, and also 16. Then you get the value you got, that is x equal to positive 2 there. Then you can start now. You drop first the negative 2 there. This one you just drop. Then you say 2 multiplied by negative 2, that is negative 4. Then you add negative 13 minus 4, that is negative 17. Then you multiply 2 multiplied by negative 17, that is negative 34. If you add 26 minus 34, you get negative 8. Negative 8 multiplied by 2, that is negative 16. 16 minus 16, you get 0. So that is the answer. Let me just write x minus 2, the factor here. Okay. So after you get those, you can just now change this into a quadratic. So it will be 2x squared minus 17x minus 8. Then you also have the factor which we got, which is x minus 2. After you do this, you can now use factorization method to factorize this, where you find the product, the sum, and the factor. So we discover that the product is equal to negative 2 multiplied by negative 8, that is positive 16. The sum is equal to negative 17. You just get the value of b. Then the factors, two numbers, when you multiply them, they'll give you 16. When you add them, they'll give you negative 17. Those are negative 1 and negative 16. Then you substitute on b. So you're going to get negative 2x squared, then minus x, minus 16x, minus 8, like that. Then you have x minus 2. X minus 2. Then at this point, you can now factorize in pair by factorizing. We factorize x, or let's factorize negative x. So what will remain with is positive 2x there, then plus 1. Here we factorize negative 8. What will remain with is positive 2x, then plus 1. Of course, this is what we get. Then we have another factor, which is x minus 2. So let me just get rid of the top part. So after you do this, you say x plus 1 then negative x minus 8, and also we just group the factors x minus 2. So these are the factors for that polynomial, and by doing that you would have factorized the polynomial. Thank you for watching.